down the other end of the ground. And we're all set. NRL Sunday from the nation's capital, ANZAC Day, on a beautiful afternoon. And we are underway, and that ball was over the dead ball line on the full by a mile, and John Sutton has caught it and almost gone over himself. I never understand it.
He shook his head after he caught it. He realised how close he was to the dead ball line, but we know he should have had his foot over the line and
on the line. You don't even have to have it over.
You don't even have to catch it. You touch it on the full.
But here's Taylor now taking the ball forward up towards the 20-metre line. They still have possession though, the Bunnies, but they're doing it hard to get out of their own end. Stewart takes it forward, and he's now tackled. In fact, it's low. Luke out of acting half. The Raiders chant goes up. The Burrow chant for the Rabbits goes up as well. It's the last tackle here. Sando under pressure from Tongue. An awful kick away in Canberra. Have possession 40 metres out from the Rabbitohs line.
Nice work, Alan Tongue. That gave your team about 30 metres. That ball was headed way upfield if he hadn't put so much pressure on Chris Sando. So this is good field position, a good start for the Raiders. But what could have been a disastrous kickoff out on the full.
That was an awful pass from Daniel Vito. It could easily have been called forward. Now Tongue, Logan the decoy, Campese through. Tom Leroy Lars grabbed by the Colorbite champion and almost got the penalty. The referee says plain. I thought Campese, if he kept going himself, may have scored. Here's Mogg. They've got numbers. Mogg with the dummy. The tackle has been made. And South Sydney through Taylor defending grimly. Now here's Campese kicking towards the in-goal area. Sando has it covered. He can't get back into the field to play. And South's only early in the game. They're just hanging on at the moment. And we always know about Canberra in the first 10 minutes or so. They looked on today.
And with this bloke here putting a nice kick into the in-goal, he's already made that one bust in the offload to Tom Leroy Lars. Terry Campese, hopefully for Raiders fans, he's in a running mood today.
Here's Sando with the drop kick. Dugan under it. Now here is Tills returning the football and hits solidly by three South Sydney defenders. Taylor in there with Lowe and also Geddes. Here's Harrison up towards the 20. Three players there to make the tackle. Very slow to peel off and good chance for South Sydney to regroup. Tongue. That was a bit slowish from the Raiders there. Josh Miller was never really committed to running the decoy. Campese takes the line on. Low there with a tackle around the legs. Over the top of Sam Burgess. 10 metres away from the goal line. Here's Tongue out of acting half. Miller this time runs straight and hard. Geddes is there with Stewart to make the tackle. It's the last. They're short to the right, South Sydney. If Canberra go that way, they do. It comes from Mogg. Mogg now kicks into the in-goal area. Harrison chasing, but they didn't chase hard enough. It went over the dead ball line. 20-metre restart.
Yeah, didn't chase hard enough, or the ball was just a little bit too heavy. Misdirected. I mean, a tough one to get to this one quick enough. It just took a quick kick there from when it went into the in-goal area and couldn't get there on time. So Rabbitohs hang on. 2 sets of 6 on their line. Excellent defence.
Taylor, 15 metres short of the halfway line, trying to milk the penalty there. Canberra all in front of the referee, but he says play on because of Taylor's action there on the play of the ball. And now 5 short of halfway as Geddes plays it. Now here's Burgess. Tackled right on the halfway line by Tongue. Campese there as well.
Saw Burgess and Dave Taylor downstairs before the game having a quick chat. Dave Taylor, they're monsters, those two. They were there with Gordon Tallis and they were towering over him, the pair of them.
Sando with the kick. It's an awkward bounce here too for the Raiders and struggling to pick it up. Brett Kelly playing his first game of the year for Canberra. But in the end he recovered and was able to pick it up, and then in the ruck there low, almost causing Jared Croker some problems. Dugan. 25 metres out from his own line. Here's an opportunity almost getting through the tackle. Was Vito, he plays it. 10 short of halfway. Campese, Dugan back on the inside. Great tackle, Stewart. Had to be made as well. Campese on the last. Kicking the ball. Nice bounce for Wesser. 10 out from his own line. Up towards the 20 and almost got through the tackle of Campese, who just holds on. Here's Champion. Picks up an easy 15 metres. Leroy Lars hangs onto the leg. Isaac Luke out of acting half. Now it comes to Lowe. The crowd thought the pass was forward. And Leroy Lars makes the tackle there with Stewart. With Logan, I should say. Here's Sutton. Now it comes to Best, one-on-one, hand-free. The ball on the outside to Talanoa. Mogg with a great tackle. And somehow Fatuli Talanoa has stayed in the field of play. Here's Dave Taylor running straight and hard. Past Miller. They're 10 metres out from the line here, South Sydney. They're stretched wide to the right here on the last tackle. Sutton kicking. Sando doesn't have it. Dugan does. Open space in front of him. And Luke is there to make the tackle. That would have been spectacular. He had one to beat. Campese now. He decides to take them on. Where's the support? Ankle tap by Sando. Knocked down by Merritt. The ball still going backwards.
What about the speed and the frantic pace of this game already? Oh, the ankle tap here on, well, this is Dugan making the bust from the kick return after the Rabbitohs had made a break down the left, and from this, Campese throws the dummy and goes straight through, and it's only the ankle tap here from Sando that stops him going all the way. He tries a late pass. That's ruled to have gone forward, I believe, and it's going to be Rabbitohs put in, but the speed of the play, the ball already, and the shifts around out wide from both teams, at this pace, we could have a very high scoring game.
Well, now it's South's turn to try and attack. Best up very quickly and getting away from the tackle of Thompson, and Mogg there to make the tidying up tackle. Here's Talanoa. Vito with the tackle on this occasion. Mogg is there as well. Just over the halfway line. We've only had 7 minutes of play. Geddes, there's been plenty happening already. Here's Lowe. Good defence, Leroy Lars. Nice offload though, back to Luke. He's now tackled there by Jared Croker. Tongue involved as well. Stewart, Sutton into space. Where's Wesser? Doesn't need him around Dugan, and John Sutton took the line on and got the rewards, and the Bunnies are in front. They lead by 4 points to 0. They weathered the storm. They've scored first, and it's John Sutton getting his first of 2010.
This looked a bit too easy, didn't it? There's some space between Raiders defenders out there. Mogg was the man who tried to initially make this tackle. I think they were just short on numbers on that side of the field, so they left some big holes. Rather than jamming in a bit tighter and leaving space on the outside, that looked pretty easy, didn't it, for John Sutton? He knew he was in space straight away. Put the big left foot step on Raiders fullback Josh Dugan, and away he goes under the post. Well, I had no idea which team was going to score first, but I had a good feeling it was going to be pretty soon, the way they're throwing the footy around.
Well, the ankle tap on Campese has saved South Sydney a try, and from that they get possession and score to lead by 4 points to 0 with a kick from right in front from Isaac Luke to make it 6 points to 0. Terrific start to the game, and the Bunnies lead by 6 points to 0 courtesy of the conversion from Isaac Luke as we head down to the touchline and say good afternoon, Simon Wolford.
Well, no doubt Coach John Lang would have emphasised the fact that the Rabbitohs needed to stay with the Raiders early in this game. They come out at home and they fire early. Just need to stay a little bit patient. Terry Campese trying to force the pass there early in the tackle count, and the Bunnies, not only have they weathered their storm, they've hit back with the try.
This will see what Canberra's up to today, how they fight back. This kick's not going over the dead ball line. Sutton is under it on this occasion and finds Luke Stewart. Low, heavily involved so far for South Sydney. There's Gordon Tallis sitting at the back of the coach's box for South Sydney. And there's a high shot from Logan. The referee didn't like it. He got the call from the touch judge. Sam Burgess, the man. Not a huge amount in it. I think it came up off the ball.
Might be something to do with ANZAC Day and Sam Burgess being upon. Aussie gets him high. Bit of payback.
I still can't get used to seeing Gordy. I know it's his second year with South in that Rabbitohs outfit. It just doesn't. There he is again. Here is Sando. Stewart straight through the tackle of Miller. Dugan to beat. Stops him on this occasion. He passed it in a low, he did. And Canberra's come up with it with Dugan and no one had placed a hand upon him.
It looked like a Raiders knockdown there that I thought it was a knock-on. Just have a look at Luke Stewart. He just strolled through that bit of space there where Miller was. That's knocked down by the Raiders, but ruled to have gone back.
Now they've made a mistake. Dane Tilse has come up with the error. And the referee ruled it went backwards all the time.
They're going to find themselves a long way behind on the scoreboard, the Raiders, if they give the Rabbitohs football in this territory and don't shore up their defence just on the right-hand side of the ruck.
Low. Almost running into Steve Tedrow Lyons there. Geddes. Now here's Luke. Burgess had the right arm free, thought about passing, decided not to. Now here's Luke. Comes to Wesser. Wesser to the line. Mogg there with the tackle. He's lost the football. Very fortunate there for Canberra. Their defence looks very, very flimsy at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the same area they attacked where Bronson Harrison and Adam Mogg were. There's a mistake from Reece Wesser trying to get up, blaming Harrison. But that's the spot. They've made a bust and scored on another break that looked like they were going to score.
Yeah, you're going to be up here.
You just see, they're not getting off their line. And then he speeded all Canberra, and their spacing is so wide.
Yeah, I think it's because the Rabbitohs are getting to play the ball so quickly in the middle of the field. A couple, 2 or 3 in a row, and then when they hit that point, the Raiders just seem to be short on numbers. But I'd say you'd suggest they compress it and leave a bit of space on the outside. You can't let teams go through you. You can't recover when they go through. If they go around, well, your cover defence can get there, but they go through the middle, 9 times out of 10 they'll score.
There's Campese with the kick. It's not a 40-20, but Talanoa has it covered. 10 out from his own line and bring it up towards the 20 before being bet by Mogg and Tongue. Best in his 200th to Merritt. That's better defence from Canberra. Logan and Miller involved. Here's Wesser. Tongue around the legs. Tilse over the top. That's the 30-metre line he's playing it on. Here's Lowe. Campese who makes the tackle with Leroy Lars. 10 short of halfway. Stewart and up quickly. Tilse the body contact, and you hear the referee saying that's fine, chest, and that shook Luke Stewart up a little bit. He's got the hands on the head in back play, and here's a good kick from Sando, although it continues to roll. It just had about 2 or 3 too many rolls in it. But what about Dane Tilse? Didn't he shorten up Luke Stewart here?
Across the chest, yeah, good ruling. He's still, I guess he'd be pretty dirty about that mistake last time they had the football, the Raiders, the pressure he put on his teammates. So Tilse wanted to make amends.
Well, you know it rattles a player when they get up from playing to play the ball and the hands go straight to the head and sucking in the big ones.
Yep.
Miller.
It was a bit of a shame. I thought that was a great kick by Sando that just took that extra roll or two to go dead.
Here's Mogg. He's kicking into the corner. This one's got a little bit too much on it as well. Has it? No, it's stopped, and Wesser had to play it. A much better kick on this occasion from the Canberra Raiders, and a terrific chase has pinned Wesser in the corner. Is there an end where the ball rolls a bit better here, Gary, from your experience, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, if you ask me, judging those last 2 kicks, it'd be the end that Chris
I want your
Sando was
experience,
kicking
not from just what you've seen.
I was just
Sometimes different grounds have different angles.
I was just admiring Reece Wesser's work on that carry back there. I mean, it was pretty smart. You can try to be brave and stay upright.
Here's Burgess straight through. The flick out the back. It's been touched by Canberra. Went backwards. And so it's play on. He can dive on it, Brett Kelly. So in other words, you've got no idea. Here's Dugan. Kelly.
Which way's the wind going?
But once again, some worrying signs for the Canberra defence. Tongue out of acting half. Here's Mogg. Harrison. Got Thompson on his outside, but took the tackle. 25 away from the goal line. Here's Miller. Good tackle, Luke Stewart. That's a terrific tackle. Right around the thighs, and they are big thighs from Josh Miller. Knocked him straight to ground. Harrison with the flick pass. Mogg not expecting it, and Dave Taylor's come up with it.
It looked fancy, didn't it? But when they don't come off.
And Souths with an awful pass. Kelly's come up with it. Merritt can't make the tackle. Champion does, throws him into touch. The touch judge's flag is up.
I called yours, sorry, mate.
Has he taken his advantage or not? I reckon he has. They've changed the interpretation now, and he's giving the feed to South Sydney.
Well, he almost scored. He was very close to getting there, and had he slipped the pass inside, well, that's the inside ball. The Adam Mogg just didn't see till very late, that flick pass. Kelly looked like he was going to go. I thought he was going to get it inside to Croker here. Couldn't. And his foot has just flicked the line before he passed it inside. Well done for the touchy, yeah.
And of course, there was no knock on from South Sydney. It was just an awful pass. The pass didn't go forward and went backwards. So it shouldn't really matter about the advantage as Champion takes them on. I don't know whether his foot touched the line before or after he threw the ball. The touch judge is right there. Well, there's a flick out the back's been touched by Till, so the tackle count will restart. Well, there's another one out the back.
What's going on?
Ben Lowe. Well, it's entertaining stuff, that's for sure. I'm not sure that David Furner and John Lang would be finding it as entertaining. I am. There is David Furner. There's Stewart.
Have both teams been given a licence to thrill? Go out and enjoy yourself, have a bit of fun out there? Or are they just taking it upon themselves to throw flick passes and risky footy?
Luke will play. Lost ball there from Isaac Luke. Matt Cecchin telling Steve Tedro Lyons that he'd lost it. There was no hand in there.
Isaac Luke pointed at the touchy and said, I got your number. I don't know what he said, but he realised who was tipped off.
I was the touch judge, I'd say. And I'm not having a hit up today. I don't know whether he did or not, did he?
Oh, gee, I think he did.
He got the wrong bloke anyway. It was Matt Cecchin. Let's head down to the touchline. Simon Walford.
Yeah, it's funny you say the coaches would be very frustrated. Well, I just heard Johnny Lang come over and give his bench an almighty good old-fashioned rev up. Told them to tuck the ball under the wing and go forward. He doesn't care if they have to kick it off their own 30. They don't need to throw the ball willy-nilly as they are at the moment.
Two front rowers come off for Canberra, and going on the field, it's like Sean Fensom and also David Shillington. Here's Mogg.
Yeah, it's tough of Johnny Lang to give it to his bench players, and they haven't been on the field yet.
He's got to give it to someone. He can't get on the field himself. Tongue. Miller. And there's Fensom. Gets away from the first tackle from Burgess. Luke is there. Burgess comes again. He's still going, Sean Fensom. 20 metres out from the line. Campese. Dugan round the back. Sando there to make the tackle. Gets some help from Champion and also Lowe. 5 gone. Last one here for Canberra. Campese under pressure. Off the legs of Luke. He'll get there first. Now it's a foot race. He won't win that. And Souths have come up with it. Terrific work from Isaac Luke. And now he's lost it. Was there a hand in there? No. That's 2 in a row that Isaac Luke hasn't been able to hang on to.
And neither were his fault. It's a great chase, isn't it, on Campese that stopped him from kicking that. Here he is, tries to put the inside step on Croker.
Let's go, Isaac. Isaac, play the game. Let's go.
Well, you've got to have more control, haven't you? I know Terry Campese's knee, it came off his knee, but you've got the onus is on the play getting up to hang on to it tighter than that.
Campese's entitled to stand up, and it's very hard to stand up without bending your legs. Completion rate's not great, but here's a try to Canberra. Jared Croker makes the most of the mistake from Isaac Luke, and the Canberra Raiders are back in it. Jared Croker, the try scorer. It came off the back of a mistake from Isaac Luke, and this topsy-turvy start to NRL Sunday continues.
It's a double pump here from Dugan. Looks like he's going to throw the long ball. Little short one to Croker. I think Croker thought he had a bigger battle on his hands to get through the defensive line there, but Chris Sandow just couldn't hang on. Oh, he didn't look like much of a chance of getting him at all, did he? Nice line run there from Jared Croker. Scores under the post. You get the feeling the team that can start putting some back-to-back sets together is going to race away with a good lead here, Mark. Both sides are throwing it around like it's late in the game and they're behind.
Well, all the entertainment we've seen, it still is only one try piece halfway through the first half. There's David Furner barking instructions. No doubt will be got to get to the kick and get down the other end. And let's complete some sets and put some pressure on.
We haven't seen any real forward power rolling through the middle of the other team from either side, but certainly from the Raiders. That's what we come to expect here.
And Terry Campese converts the try, and so it is 6-all here at Canberra Stadium, and neither side really has settled down yet.
No, look, the Raiders certainly needed some points because they've had plenty of possession up this end of the park. But they've had a couple of better opportunities than that, but take it.
You talk about, we haven't seen any forward, rolls on. Well, Dane Tilse and Scott Logan, the two front rowers that started, have only made 3 hit-ups between them. And Tom Leroy-Lars has only had the opportunity for 2. Here's Miller returning the football. Shillington, who's come on, hasn't made one yet, so it hasn't been that sort of a game, has it? Here's Leroy-Lars' 3rd hit-up of the game.
Shillington desperate to get the footy, just to get him going forward.
Here's Miller, his 2nd hit-up of the set. 5 short of the halfway line. Canberra's into the field. Campese thought about kicking. Talanoa's dropped back. Then he came up and Mock kicked over the head of Talanoa. Has he found touch? It's gone tippy-toe, tippy-toe. I thought it hit the touchline. It didn't. How did that not go out?
I thought it was an ordinary kick from Mogg. In fact, I thought they probably should have put it through the hands.
That's all right.
Well, Talanoa was a long way back. Now they've given away a penalty. It ended up, the kick hugging that touchline ended up to be beautifully placed, and they got Reece Wester so close to his line, but they've undone a lot of good work there. Vito ruled not to have got back either as a marker or back to the defensive line. You have to agree with that.
Geddes. Had to see South Sydney make their first interchange. Garrett Crossman was going to come on, but it's going to be Shannon McPherson. Crossman was heading to the touchline and was told, no, go hit back down. That'd be disappointing, wouldn't it? Here's Lowe. You're desperate to get out there. You think you're going, then all of a sudden you get the tap on the shoulder. No. Burgess. Fence him around the legs.
That right arm, it's always looks like he's going to get the ball away, Sam Burgess. As defenders get more tired, he probably will.
Taylor, 20 metres away from the line. Sutton at acting half. Sando with the crossfield kick. Here comes Merritt. Taps it back. Champion won't get there. Off South Sydney, I thought. What does the referee think? He agrees. Although Champion tried to sell it. No one bought it.
Well, if you can get in that position and tap it back, you're half a chance, aren't you? So
just tapped it back a bit too hard, didn't he?
He did.
Good eye, Zach.
Here's Leroy-Lars. I know darker clothes make it look a little bit thinner, but it does look very lean and fit. Tom Leroy-Lars in 2010 was played Origin football last year. Has just been hampered his whole career by injury. Fensom. Oh, cut-out ball went behind Shillington off the shoulder there of Campese. A little bit of luck here for the Raiders. Dugan down the touchline. He heads for the corner. Reece Wester. That may be an absolute miracle. Reece Wester with a crunching tackle. And Josh Dugan, if he has scored that try, he's Superman.
He's never thought about getting inside or anything but start trying to run over the top of Reece Wesser and get to that corner. His whole body, I reckon his whole body, apart from his right arm, was over the touchline. Was any of it grounded? We're about to find out. Reece Wesser had a pretty good shot at him. He's still in field. He's still in field. The left foot. Oh, that's close. That's okay. Oh,
That is the greatest try-scoring effort you will ever see. That is remarkable. No human could possibly do that.
Well, we saw one last year in his first game, and that was Daniel Vito, one of his teammates, do something similar, but that is absolutely incredible. The balance, just the flexibility to just keep that in field.
You can't do that, surely. That is impossible to do. How did he do it? Phil Cooley's our video referee. If he doesn't award this try, I'm going next door. I'm going to throttle him. It is a try to Josh Dugan, one of the most remarkable try-scoring efforts you will ever see. I know we saw the Inglis ball over the top in the Centenary Test match a couple of years ago, and we've seen Blake Ferguson, and you mentioned Vito and all these players. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
And look, it came from a mistake there, a good long ball that Dugan threw, received the ball back on the inside. They positioned him perfectly. Reece Wesser had him exactly where he wanted him. He couldn't get back inside him. He got a bit of a shot on him. He's a strong runner, isn't he, Daniel Vito? That is an absolutely incredible try. Terry Campese tripping over a bit of signage there. Well, I was a bit critical of Josh Dugan last week. Didn't have his best game against the Roosters, but he did play injured. I found out later. Where it's due, that's great.
I still cannot believe that. I wouldn't have thought it was possible. Here's Terry Campese from the touchline. He struck it pretty well, and it's straight between the posts. One of the great things about the video referee is I reckon in years gone past this would have been disallowed because no one would have believed it. Now it's being allowed, Simon Wolford.
Well, what a player, Josh Dugan. He just keeps surprising. He's bought his ball-playing game today. First the double pump to put young Croker over for the first try. Then the nice cut-out pass there to Kelly. Backed up into the simple equation there. Josh Dugan wanted to put that ball down more than Reece Wesser wanted to stop him. What a great try. Backed himself and come up trumps.
No wonder clubs are circling. And as we mentioned in the pre-game, Gary, they have to keep him, Canberra. They're developing some of the finest young talent of the game. It would be awful if they couldn't keep him.
And while the salary cap is at top of mind and it's such a big issue in the game at the moment, there have to be concessions, or better concessions than there are at the moment, for developing juniors and keeping them under your wing and in your system. We were so stunned by that try.
I am.
We also needed to give Brett Kelly a bit of a rap for the work he did to get the ball back inside. But, gee, Josh Dugan, he did 99% of it.
Well, Reece Wesser returns the football. I'm sure he would have thought that he'd done enough to prevent the try, but he didn't. Talanoa.
He would have been in that position plenty of times, Reece Wesser, and made that tackle. Or just you just needed to give a player a nudge from there. He was about 3 metres from the line when they made contact, and he goes into touch. Somehow, as you've seen, Josh Dugan stayed in.
Lock in, Josh.
So many coaches would tell you he was carrying the ball in the wrong hand. He was too high, didn't lower himself, didn't try and step back in. He still scored a remarkable try. Here's the kick from South, and here's that man again, Dugan, on his own goal line. This time Sam Burgess has him. Champion coming in with what could have been a flop, but the referee says play on. And you always know when you come to Canberra, you're going to be entertained. Doesn't matter how the Raiders are going. At home, they're a different side. They're an entertaining side. Here's Tongue out of acting half. Got through the tackle of Luke. Campese. Now here's Leroy Lars. Sando was around the legs and Champion over the top. It's the last tackle here for Canberra. Kelly goes into acting half and Campese kicks down into the corner and will find touch. And so the Canberra Raiders get to their kick and get the ball down the other end. and have a little bit of a chance for a breather here. 11.5 out from half-time, but that was just something we will remember for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's hard not to keep thinking about that great try from Josh Dugan. We're going to move on with the game now. As to the Canberra Raiders, they still have a fair job ahead of them to have a lead at half-time. Souths haven't had a lot of football for the last 10 minutes or so and haven't done much with it when they have.
You could watch that all day.
I don't think words can do it justice.
South Sydney, good run, strong run. That's Eddie Pettybourne, I think, back on the field for the Bunnies. Yeah, here's Eddie Pettybourne. Steve Tedrow Lyons asking Cecchin if that is Eddie Pettybourne. He's back from a broken jaw and making the most of his first run. A bit disorganised here, Souths. McPherson tackled. A bit flat-footed at the moment. Now Burgess. That arm free again, and Campese tries to shut it down, and Shillington was around the legs. It's the last tackle. Asando gets the kick for Dugan. Just seems he has the football in his hands all the time at the moment. Josh Dugan playing at fullback.
Well, he doesn't just stand back waiting for it. So that helps. Comes up into the line. Particularly today, he's been on the left side of the ruck and causing some headaches for the Rabbitohs' right defence.
Josh Miller's come off Canberra, and he's in a bit of trouble. Josh Miller is slumped to the ground, shaking his head with the trainer. Third interchange being made by Canberra. He's struggling to get to the bench. Trevor Thurling has gone on for him. Just shows you how hard, I mean, they are fit athletes, but it just shows you how hard they work. Campese dummied the kick on the last, running across field. Now it comes through their hands. Here's Thompson. He's got Mogotty's inside. He hasn't used him yet. He's run away from him, and they've butchered a try. They get a penalty, though. A strip.
No, you didn't. You went for the ball and you stripped.
Teddy, you take John.
This way. John.
It's a great run here from Joel Thompson.
At the captain's meeting, mate. I saw clearly he had his hand on the ball and stripped it out, mate.
No, you're right, he's butchered it.
Off you go, go back.
He had an opportunity to give that ball out of Moore. In on his left and on his right. And both times he didn't get it to him.
They take the quick tap here, the Canberra Raiders. It comes to Harrison. Sutton there with the tackle.
Stay working, Colin. Flat up.
5 metres away from the line. That was a lucky break there for Canberra. Tough penalty. Awful pass to Tung. He does well. Shillington. 10 metres away from the goal line. 8.5 out from half-time. Tung throws it to himself. Will that be a try assist as well as a try if he scores? Now here's Thompson through some feeble attempts at tackle. He was denied a short time ago. In fact, he butchered one a short time ago, but he's made up for it. The Raiders extend their lead, but that was pretty poor defence from South Sydney.
Twice the Raiders have had misdirected passes that have led to tries. The Rabbitohs have clocked off. Again, they had plenty of numbers there on Troy Thompson. That's his second break in 2 sets of 6. He's a tough player to tackle. Just have a look how he gets through, spins through one tackle. Colin Best, a couple of other defenders in front of him, they didn't stand much of a chance. Strong and quick. Well, that makes up for the try, or the try that they should have scored moments ago.
It was most probably a strip there. I think it was from Colin Best, but you could argue he's making the tackle and the bloke's got to hang on to the football. It was the last tackle too. It would have been South Sydney's possession, and you know, sometimes they just go, well, that's a lost ball changeover. So
Look like a tough call.
Yeah, Souths, I could understand being a little bit disappointed. And Tung, who threw that pass to himself that started the movement, has come to the touchline. Doesn't look like he's going to be interchanged. Glenn Buttress is getting up. He may, in fact, be very distressed on the touchline, Tung. Terry Campese. And Buttress has been up and down with Alan Tung. Here's Campese adding the extra 2. And so it's 18 points to 6. Canberra over South Sydney. And there is Alan Tung, who He's playing with a little bit of discomfort at the moment.
Set move, that one, was it, where he passed it back to himself? Works, going to try that one again. Joel Thompson, the recipient.
He is the leading try scorer for Canberra this year, and there are 3 of the players on the bench having a breather, but Glenn Buttress is the one who's been up and down and getting ready to come on, you think, for Alan Tongue. He's had a football in his hand for the last 5 minutes. He's desperate to get out there. Hasn't played since round 24 last year. There's some solid body contact. Dave Taylor back out. Sam Burgess having a spell at the moment. Lowe involved as well on Trevor Thurling. Kempisi. Leroy Lars, 5 short of halfway. Kempisi back to Thurling, away from Taylor. Here's a chance. Fensom, Leroy Lars, has it been played at it? Has the tackle count restarts? They've got a chance here. The Raiders, Harrison, the ball over the top through the hands of Thompson, picked up by Vito. This is still 0 tackle, and Vito will take that tackle. South Sydney are well and truly under the pump here. The game may be on the line for them. Here's Fensom just before half-time. They trail by 12. The Raiders chant is up. Kempisi, Thurling, great tackle coming across McPherson. Tongue out of acting half dummy, reaches out and decides not to. McPherson there again with a try saver. Thurling tries hard. He's held up. No, he's got it down. He got the ball down. He was held up. Then he got it down and Cecchin towards the try. South Sydney on the rack. The Raiders on a roll. Trevor Thurling with the try. His first for the year, and the Bunnies' defence is in tatters.
It took a while to get this one down. Alan Tongue had to go just before that. This is the end of the movement. Harrison, Raiders are throwing the footy all over the park, over the top. I'm not sure Harrison knew that it was 6 again. He did have a couple of players out wide that in try-scoring positions. Tongue had to go. Thurling decides to have a crack as well. It does. It's going to seem like a long time, especially in slow motion, but the ball hasn't been grounded. Eventually it is. You happy with that one, Mark Braybrook, the man with the referee's ticket?
Well, that's in slow motion there, and look, you know, I'm not arguing that try was awarded. I mean, I reckon it would have been right on the edge.
The referee didn't call held at any stage.
But once again, it's one of those calls that could have gone another way, that's gone Canberra's way this occasion. Alan Tongue has come from the field. He's in trouble. We'll find out from Renee Gardner shortly the problem for Alan Tongue. I don't want to preempt what Renee might have the information. I could be totally wrong, but it looks it may have been a groin problem as Kempisi adds the extras, and it's 24 points to 6. The Canberra Raiders over South Sydney. As we head downstairs, Renee Gardner with news on Alan Tongue.
Yeah, look, he carried a groin strain going into the game, and they were actually prepared for this. They just wanted to see how long he was actually going to make it out on the field. So they're putting Buttress back out there now, but it should be fine. It is what they had planned coming into the game.
So there's a groin injury there, and out on the full South Sydney. If they're not careful here with 3 minutes of play remaining till half-time, they could find themselves down by 24.
Well, it's a pretty ugly deficit as it is. And they're giving the Raiders another chance. With good communication there with Harrison and Vito.
Mob takes the tap. Here's Harrison. They need to hang on here, South Sydney, but their defence has been pretty ordinary so far. 21 missed tackles in the first half. Here's Shillington. 12 metres away from the line, 2.5 out from the break. Buttress out of acting half. Here's Fensom. They hold to the moment, the Bunnies, but only just.
Kempisi wants it left. They want to keep attacking out this side.
They've got more players this side, though, Souths. It comes back here to Croker. Already scored this afternoon. About 6 metres away from the line. Slowish play the ball. South's defence regroups. Kempisi looking for something. Now Dugan with the kick. It's off legs. He got it back. The tackle count restarts. Matt Cecchin said it was played at by South, and now it was an awful play the ball.
If you do that, it stays in the ruck, put your foot on it and scrape it back again, okay? You get a second crack at it.
Well, Dugan it was that put the little kick in. The Rabbitohs can't take a trick at the moment. A couple of tough calls against them, and that's ruled to be 6 again. I'm not sure any of them played at it.
Ben Lowe didn't play it. It was kicked in his legs.
So, a little bit of justice there. He didn't play the football properly. Josh Dugan. The ref actually gave him some instructions on how to do it, get it right next time.
South's 10 from 17 their completions in the first half, and 60% of the game has been spent down their end of the field. And there is Alan Tongue. If they were expecting this, and Buttress, of course, on the interchange bench, gives them great cover. And he's got a groin strain. Well, it's not going to get any better when he cools down, is it?
No, that can be the issue if it's allowed to cool down. So Dave Ferner and the medical staff have to make that decision on whether they put him back out there at some stage.
That's a knock on here from Canberra. That was played out shortly in making the tackle.
Knock on Raiders South Street.
And Matt Cecchin ruling that way.
I like the way that the referees have decided that is always a knock on now. We had cases in the past, player going in for the tackle, and you know there was some play on rules there that were very sus, and tries scored. But yeah, with Alan Tongue, do you take the risk if they extend this lead? I'm not sure you'd want to put him back out there.
That's going to call you off. You do that again.
10 metres short of halfway and 15 seconds away from half-time. South Sydney coach John Lang will be desperate to get there. There's a mistake from Taylor. Sort of Canberra trying to pack the scrum when they're not. This is like a rugby maul. There's 100 of them in there. They can't get there quick enough. David Taylor, there is the knock on. Well, that was quite comedic there right on half-time to see all the Canberra side trying to pack a scrum. But what a remarkable first 40 minutes of football. It is Canberra 24, South Sydney 6. Half-time, NRL Sunday, a break and back with more.
They knew the risk they were taking. There's no alternative for the NRL. The penalty will be the stripping of 3 minor premierships and 2 premierships.
One of the biggest scandals in Australia's sports history, and Fox Sports News has it covered from every angle. On ANZAC Day, Fox Sports issues an unprecedented storm warning. Live in prime time, witness either Melbourne's last post or one of the most daring counterattacks ever. An ANZAC Day special, live at 6, only on Fox Sports.
Everybody's pushed for time these days too, so long weekends are a fantastic time to actually get out and get those jobs done. You've got a 3-day weekend, there are no excuses.
Two-step folding ladder, $19.90. Trojan rolling toolbox, $89. Tripod work light, $38.90. Balasa floor tiles, $10.45 per square metre. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Start those projects that you always wanted to do. Bunnies Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
With millions of customers across Australia, you'll be surprised how many of your mates are with Vodafone. So grab the Samsung Jet on our new $29 cap and get unlimited calls Vodafone to Vodafone all day, every day.
Calling all cooks. Harvey Norman is your cooking specialist, serving up all the best brands at the very best prices. Electrolux, Ilvi, Blanco, Smeg and more. Get in store to experience the very latest in cooking appliance technology. Ask us how we can customize packages to cater for all your cooking needs. Buy now on 12 months interest-free. No deposit, no interest, no repayments. Harvey Norman's calling all cooks for the best brands, best advice and the best price guaranteed. Catalog out now from your cooking specialist.
Go, Harvey Norman, go!
carsales.com.au, Australia's #1, because it works.
Righto, it's drinks break.
Come on, Digger. Take a load off. Come here, mate.
Fuzzy. Rev it up a bit, mate.
80p 1000 Road begins Monday live. Fox Sports.
Well, it's been the most entertaining first half on NRL Sunday as we welcome you back to Canberra Stadium on ANZAC Day. The Canberra Raiders, 24 points to 6. They lead after South Sydney led by 6 points to 0. It has been one-way traffic since then. The missed tackle count a worry for the Bunnies and the fact they cannot hang on to the football.
Yeah, it is a big problem for them. So their completion rate is down. They were going okay up until about the 20-minute mark, but since then they've lost their way a bit, haven't they? And the Raiders have dominated possession. But there's been some clean breaks by the Raiders. On the left in the first 20, on the right in the second 20. There's holes all through the Rabbitohs' defence. They've got to be worried about them.
And you can't afford to give Canberra confidence because when they're playing with confidence, they're a different football team. But South Sydney started the game well. They scored the first try, and it was worrying signs here for Canberra.
He strolled through this space here, John Sutton, and in fact that was an issue for the Raiders, and a couple of times some breaks in that position of the field. They've seemed to have fixed it up since then. But attack, it's been great. This try kind of came from nothing to Jared Croker. Nice little short ball there from Josh Dugan. But from then the floodgates opened and Terry Campese has been prominent. This player here, long ball Josh Dugan. But what about the end of this? This try absolutely had us gobsmacked.
I could just keep watching that. Remarkable. And when, I mean, it's slow motion, it's dramatic enough, but at full speed, for him to score that try, just extraordinary.
You're going to see it plenty of times. Yeah. That was another ball that went to ground, that one, a bit misplaced, but Tongue picked it up off his own pass, gave it to Thompson. He did all the hard work and scored the try. And then Trevor Thurling burrowed his way over. It took a while to get the football down, but it was never grounded, and the referee was happy with that one under the posts.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. 24 points to 6, the half-time score. Worrying signs here for the South Sydney side as Canberra have scored 4 tries in the first half. Croker, Dugan, Thompson, Thurling tries. Campese 4 from 4 for Souths. Sutton the try. Luke has kicked 1 from 1. Well, we seem to be talking about in Gary every week. Josh Dugan, this fullback from Canberra, and I know I've likened him to yourself, and it's embarrassing for you, but he is a wonderful player, has a remarkable future in the game, and what he has done today, particularly that try, is just breathtaking.
Some of the stuff he does in the field, you know, one of the most athletic players you've seen in a green jersey in the past was Brett Mullins, and this guy can do similar stuff to him. Mullins might have been a little bit quicker than him, but he's a powerful player, and his involvement is very heavy. The way he scored that try, I think the great Brett Mullins, one of the try-scoring freaks that we've seen over the last 15 years or so, would have been proud of it. That is magnificent. He's had a real mark on this game, and it's good to see. He's got plenty of teammates going well as well, but when you've got someone finishing it off like that, it's beautiful.
He certainly does, and let's hope for Canberra's sake, because they've developed some wonderful young talent down here through their under-20 system, some local talent, that Josh Dugan does stay here because he is being chased. You can hear some guns going off in the background here at Canberra Stadium. They did warn us about it, but I wasn't sure when it was coming. The guard there who've been out entertaining the crowd here, of course, it's ANZAC Day. A terrific atmosphere, a great atmosphere, in fact, here in Canberra, the nation's capital. What a place to be on ANZAC Day. We couldn't stop at the War Memorial as we came past, but the number of people around town, it's just been terrific. Not a great day for South Sydney. Canberra red hot at the moment, $1.07. I wouldn't write the Bunnies off though, because they can put points together, but they need to do something in the first 10 to 15 minutes of this second half.
They need to score early. If they don't, well, they may as well pack up and go and do the sightseeing tour at the War Memorial and pay tribute to the Diggers, because at the moment they're not in the game.
We will take a break here from Canberra Stadium. ANZAC Day, NRL Sunday. It's the Raiders in front at the moment. Can they hang on? Will they go on with it? Will the Bunnies fight back? We'll find out after the break. What a day. The most important thing was the football.
No, it's not. It's the kicking team.
Imagine Melbourne Ingle waiting for a kicking team. We just put that big size 16 into the ground, and away we go. Yep. For the second half, South Sydney get us underway, and it was almost over the dead ball line, but Dugan takes it, and Shillington returns the football. And very important this first 15 minutes of the second half for South Sydney, not only for this afternoon, but it's a juggle from Thurling to get their season something, because they've been spluttering, I suppose. A good patch with 3 wins in a row, but they were very poor last week against Parramatta. And they take on Manly next week. Thurling towards the 40. Here's Campese from inside his 40, now outside, as he saw Talanoa drop back to cover the 40-20. And Reece Wesser returning the football and just sees a wall of dark jerseys in front of him. And Buttress leading the charge. Champion. Sleeper call there, thinking that maybe Eddie Pettybourne obstructed the defence as he was coming back to get onside. He almost lost the ball there, Reece Wesser. There's McPherson stepping there into the shoulder of Shillington. Sutton. Taylor. Last tackle for South. They come down the short side. Sutton puts it high in the air. Here's a test for Dugan. Here comes Best. He takes it very well, Josh Dugan, and almost got away from the tackle of Colin Best. Good take from Dugan, but South really didn't put a huge amount of pressure on him.
Well, once they realised they couldn't get there on time to compete for the football, they have to wait until he hits the ground. So that's exactly what happened. He nearly got out of that tackle at Best. Here they go at the middle.
Buttress straight through. Sando and Luke bringing to ground, but there is worrying signs there for South Sydney. He just strolled through. Now Mogg calls for it, gets it. Harrison runs at Taylor, the offload, back to Mogg. McPherson with the tackle. Harrison goes into acting half. Here's Campese to the line, little kick for himself. Play on, says the referee, and Wesser comes up with it. Jeez, if he hadn't been checked in the run, Campese, there was a good chance of regathering that.
Yeah, I think so. It looked all legal. They had a couple of players in front of them. They didn't have to move their line at all. But yeah, there was a fair bit of space between the football and Reece Wesser when it first came off the boot.
Did your timing right, 15? It's only telling they were in a bit of trouble for South after that hit up with a hand injury. He's out on the touchline and just seems to be struggling a bit. You can see down the bottom of the screen. Now here's Sutton. Ball back to low, and they were waiting for him. Fence him and Campese. Last tackle. Sando with the kick. Dugan letting it bounce. Will it have the legs on it to roll over? It does. Initially, I thought it was a strange call, but it just kept going.
Oh, it's a couple there unlucky there for Chris Sando. One in the first half that he would have travelled 60 metres and gone dead, and that one, I thought he perfectly placed it. Somehow it just skipped on.
Gordy looked worried there to you? I think he did.
I think he did. He's trying not to, but we can read through those faces. Looks like he's shattered. He's a shattered man.
That's coaching Gordy. Now here's Leroy Lars.
He's thinking about which flavour pie he should have.
Shillington. There's some body contact there. Pettybourne dropped off, though McPherson held on. Shillington holds his head. I'm not surprised. He's got a headache. Campese. Harrison with the juggle has lost the football. I thought Campese may have been in front of him, but it's a knock on anyway. And Shillington's not 100% for Canberra after that solid tackle. In the hands of the trainer.
You need to move a bit quicker, man, right? When you can't move. If it's done, I'll call it fine. But if I call your name, it means I want you to get out.
Yeah, is it Pettybourne and McPherson making contact there? Not great signs for the Raiders the last couple of sets of 6. They've come up with a short kick that didn't work, and now a mistake. Sure, they can sense there's an opportunity to score points. That's one thing, but if the Rabbitohs get next points, it's game on. And they're going to be backpedaling and trying to find that momentum again. They need to get themselves up the other end of the park.
Taylor runs at Harrison, gets some assistance to bring him to ground. Thompson involved with the tackle as well. Sando across the field and just looked disorganised there with Crossman coming back underneath. There's no speed in what South are doing at the moment. There's no Christmas. Sutton, long ball, Champion. Campese in, Leroy Lars with the hand between the legs, always a danger if you decide to lift from there. McPherson hit under the rib cage and losing the football. And Buttress, the man involved. But there just seems to be a little bit of pedestrianness, if that's a word, about South at the moment.
Yeah, but it's a bit of sideways movement, not too much go forward. They can't find holes in the middle, so they're searching for something out wide that's not there. Just watching Dave Taylor a few tackles before getting hit up. But he needs a ball player playing to him, to his side, taking some pressure off. Players hitting holes. Just if you can get him in a one-on-one or in between players, he's dynamic. But every time he gets the football at the moment, there's 3 Raiders waiting for him.
Croker plays it. Here's Harrison.
2. Hands up. Come on, Dave, get out of there.
Thurling. McPherson again heavily involved with the body contact. Five short of halfway. Canberra's end of the field. Campese, they go wide. Leroy Lars trying to isolate him with Chris Sando. Here's Dugan straightening. Looking for a quick play. The ball, he gets it. Buttress out of acting half. Now the pass comes to Fensom, who gives it back to Dugan. Dugan accelerates, and the tackle is made by Luke. It's the last here for Canberra. Campese, they have numbers. It comes on the outside to Kelly, pops it back to Croker. Was it played at? Penalty here for a Shepherd, according to Matt Cecchin against Canberra.
Getting a bit frantic, weren't they? On the left, the Raiders. Here's the long ball from Campese. I don't think any South player there was obstructed. Certainly, Brett Kelly was in front of Croker when he put the kick in, but I don't think anyone was obstructed from getting into the play. Well, they did get a couple of tough calls in the first half, the Rabbits, so it might start to even itself out again.
Sando stepping, trying to create something, but Fensom there to make the tackle. Sutton calling for it, gets it. He takes them on. Wesser back on the inside, just got there a bit early. Here's Dave Taylor, runs at Mogg. Last tackle here for South. They're 32 metres away from the line. Sutton points to the air. That's where the ball goes, the spiral bomb. Good luck, Brett Kelly, who does well. Merritt does even better. Steals the ball one-on-one and scores the try. What a remarkable South Sydney try. Nathan Merritt with a one-on-one steal. Matt Cecchin wants to check it, but I think the Bunnies are back.
It was a great kick. It was a spiralling kick there from John Sutton, who had a good crack himself. A couple of tackles before. Good to see him decide to run the football, and his involvement picking up in this second half. Brett Kelly, you said it, Mark, he did really well to take that. But Nathan Merritt, that's smart play, isn't it? Just steals it off him. Well, Kelly, after he took it, didn't really have great control of it. And he took his opportunity, Nathan Merritt. Try-scoring machine he has been for the Rabbitohs over the years, and there's another one to add to his tally.
Well, it was a good take from a difficult kick, and Merritt timed his run to perfection. And then the one-on-one steal, he gets the try that gets South back into the game. 24-10 with a kick to come, a very important kick to come from Isaac Luke.
You're right about that. As far as the Rabbitohs getting back in the game, they haven't really looked like it in this second half, and they were blown away in the first. But now, if this kick goes over, just 12 points behind. Nathan Merritt and John Sutton are the players that have got them back into the contest.
Approaching 100 career tries, Nathan Merritt. Here's Isaac Luke. This to make it 2 converted tries the difference. And psychologically, that has a big impact on both teams. It's not an easy one. He's about 8 metres in from touch. Follow it home, South Sydney fans, and he's hooked it to the left. And so it remains 24 points to 10. Let's head downstairs. Renee Gardner has a special guest.
I do. I've got injured Raiders, Justin Carney. He injured his leg quite badly, or severely broke it against the Raiders in round 16 last year. Justin, how's the injury coming along?
Yeah, it's going all right. I've played a couple of games of Premiers in the last couple of weeks. We've got a split round this year, so this week, sorry. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be back out there soon.
So you had some complications with your injury as well?
It wasn't complications as such. It was just a matter of getting my weight right and getting back to my playing weight and full fitness. So yeah, it just took longer than I thought.
So with game fitness in mind, when do you think you'll be back? How many weeks?
I'm right to go. Mentally, it's just physically. If I get through the game or not. Wingers generally don't have 60 minutes on the field and 20 off. So I think it's just all timing, and I think Fernsy's got it down pat. So hopefully he'll pick me soon.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Good luck.
Thanks.
Here's South Sydney over the halfway line. And could have been a league pull there. The Bunnies fans not happy. Sutton gets a boot to ball and Dugan gets a nice bounce, and then he offloads here to Daniel Vito. And there's some South Sydney defenders in front of him and they can't make the tackle, but McPherson does, and it's one of the problems that South have had all afternoon.
This is incredibly important, this set of 6 for the Bunnies, and the message that they send to each other about how committed they are to stopping this Raiders roll on. The Raiders have got out of their territory quite easily this afternoon. Whenever they've really rolled their sleeves up and got their little men in around there running, their big guys like Shillington, it's been pretty easy.
And Furling dropped it cold. Wasn't the, top draw pass. Well, he should have taken it.
Well, this hasn't been a top draw 10 minutes for the Raiders. They started okay in the second half, but they haven't been able to finish off any of their sets. Well, he didn't like the ball.
No, he didn't.
But hey, you got to catch him. You're a first grader.
It wasn't as if it was around his ankles. His best. And with the juggle and held onto it. Hasn't seen a lot of ball this afternoon. Colin Best in his 200th game. Sam Burgess coming back on for Souths as they make their 6th interchange, replacing Shannon McPherson, who's been one of their better players today. Champion. Hit by Furling. Here's Pettybourne. Through the first tackle, had the right arm free, but didn't pass to Ben Lowe. Luke was the marker on side Shillington. The referee says yes, he was. Sutton kicking too deep. It'll be a 20-minute restart. He just had too many thoughts in his mind there, John Sutton, and the kick was too long as we head down to the touchline. Simon Wolford.
Yeah, interesting replacement there at the South Sydney try. Adam Mogg was replaced by big Scott Logan, and from what I can see at the moment, the Raiders, with Alan Tongue still on the interchange, playing with one half. Well, Bronson Harrison, he may go down as one of the biggest halves ever to play the game.
2. Let's go now, Sam.
Buttress goes into acting half as Shillington plays it.
3.
Vito.
Markers, lock in.
9 short of halfway. Josh Miller getting ready to come back on for Canberra as Leroy Lars meets Eddie Pettybourne. Campese kicking into the corner. Wesser work to do. Nice bounce. Good chase, Canberra. Let's see how South Sydney get out of their own end.
That's much better play there from Canberra. The percentage, the set, get to the end of the set, get the kick, good chase, give up no field position, make it tough on the Rabbitohs to post more points.
Make them go 90, and if you do, well played. Best. 15 short of halfway. Sutton, quick play the balls here for South. Sando is trying to spark something, standing, offloading. Here they go, Pettybourne, back to Champion. Champion away from one. Can't get away from Buttress, who makes the tackle with Logan. Last tackle here for South. Sando, little kick over the top. Sutton with the regather. Now the Luke steps inside Campese, away from another, gets the ball down. Sando, Sutton, Luke, the spine of the Rabbitohs have come up with points. The brilliance of Sando, the support of Sutton and Luke, and South Sydney are well and truly back.
They've got 95 metres in that set. Great little chip over the top. Sutton following through the Sando kick. Luke puts the left foot step on, and here he just gets down low. He's a powerful little player. I think he's hurt a rib, or he's got a bit of a whack in that area. Nice ball, Johnny Sutton. Luke with the step, gets down low, forces the football. Rabbitohs are right back in this contest. That is a great set of 6 from them. And the speed of the play, the balls, you've got to give a rap to the referees. It's been so tidy. We haven't had too many penalties, but both sides are able to get up and play the ball at speed and get a great roll forward. And that's why we're getting such an entertaining style of football.
And the key players, Sando, Sutton and Luke combining and stepping up when needed. And this man here, who's going to take the attempted conversion, Chris Sando. Looks like Luke's still feeling a bit dusty after scoring the try. Instrumental with just a little chip over the top, but any lower and it would have been straight into the hands of the Canberra defenders. It only just got over. And Sando adds the extra 2. And so South Sydney are back to within striking distance, well and truly. It was almost there for Fenson to get a hand to it.
Millimetre perfect, wasn't it? Some good quick hands that saw the try. Well, Rabbitohs, they've really got a spring in their step now. Those last couple of tries have...
Well, it was no use if Sutton wasn't chasing either. There's Roaz Atazi looking on. Dave Taylor calls for the football and then returns it, and Bronson Harrison is waiting for him, along with Trevor Thurling and also the centre Joel Thompson. Talanoa. They're going to be careful here, Canberra. They have in the past let leads slip. Short of halfway.
Big Sam Burgess out there trying to get involved. Hasn't had a lot of football this afternoon.
Sutton, Sando. So South getting to their kick and saying to the Raiders, you've got to work at 90. And Canberra under the pump here at the moment, need to get down the other end. We asked the question when Campese kicked into the corner for South Sydney a couple of sets ago. What have South got to get out of their own end? Well, they came up with a try. What are the Raiders going to do here? Vito plays at 30 out from his own line. Here's Leroy Lars at Sando, who does well around the legs, gets some help from Burgess over the top. And we see Alan Tongue come back for Canberra to try and steer the ship home. Last tackle. Campese. They get to their kick and Souths are on their own goal line through Talanoa. And the wall is there to meet him, but there was a little bit of a chink in it and he almost got through. There was no one on the outside of Buttress who came up with the tackle. 23 minutes remaining. Here's champion. Fenson with the tackle. And the flop from Thurling. It was touch and go too. Look, he's there. He was almost halfway down his way down, wasn't he?
Seriously can't flop in when a player surrenders. I reckon the referees want to review that one.
Is that what he said? I didn't hear that.
You can't flop even on a surrender, and I tell you, I totally disagree.
Another set here for South Sydney. Just the 6th penalty of the afternoon. 4-2 the count to the Bunnies. And they've got all the possession and field position and momentum at the moment, after looking so disjointed early in this second half. Wesser out of back the half. Sando, now Pettybourne straight and hard. Leroy Larson Campese with the tackle. A couple of metres away from the line. Slow to his feet here, Eddie Pettybourne. Sando, Burgess the decoy. Numbers here for South. Best, Taylor for the corner. They won't stop Big Dave Taylor. He dives into the corner like he's some sort of flying winger. He was Michael Cleary reincarnated. And South Sydney will be back to within 4. He's dived from about 5 metres out like he was at Redfern Oval in the 1960s.
He had a full head of steam up Dave Taylor. You don't expect to see a second rower run this quick. But have a look at that. No problem at all but to put down Dave Taylor into the corner. Rabbitohs, they're edging closer to the Raiders. I think the referee did want to check some obstruction in one of these plays. I didn't
Sam Burgess rang the decoy.
Oh, there was anything. Burgess there.
I'm not
no
sure.
one. no problem at all.
He just ran up and tackled the wrong bloke, Thompson.
No issue at all, Taylor.
And when I say Michael Cleary reincarnate, I'm not suggesting that Michael's passed away. He's still alive. He's been reincarnate in South
As a footballer.
Yeah, yes. Didn't want to suggest anything there. And there's the try to Dave Taylor, his first in a South Sydney jumper. And what a way to do it. What a time to do it.
Have you ever seen a man that size dive in the corner for a try in your life, Gary Belcher?
No, I can't say I did. He's a big, strong thing. I thought the defenders would have been some chance of getting to him, and he might have had to use a step or his size, but what he used was speed and a wonderful swan dive into the corner.
We mentioned that Canberra can sort of give up some points in the second half. The Tigers won 25-0 the second half when they won down here a few weeks back. Here's Sando from touch.
It's coming back. It's coming back to be right over the black dot. The ball came back. The Bunnies are coming back. And Simon Wolford, can you believe it? They're back to within 2, and Gordy looks a little bit better.
Well, I wonder what the Raiders are thinking at the moment. It's only 2 weeks ago, last home game, they gave up a 20-point lead against the West Tigers to be run down in the second half. But isn't possession so crucial in this game? In the first half, it was all the Raiders. They got away to an 18-point lead. In the second half, it's been all the Bunnies, and they've bridged the gap to 2 points.
Canberra barely been down the other end of the field in the second half.
Oh, they're going to rue that first 10 minutes of this second half when they had some possession, 3 sets in a row, and didn't come up with anything.
And South were shot. They were looking ordinary in attack, and they were there to be taken at the time.
Look at the energy the Rabbitohs have got now, and South, the Raiders just have to try to somehow put a stop to it, but their go forward is great. Bring on the smelling salts. Get Tommy Radonigas out there to slap the Raiders around something. Wake them up.
Luke, your Simon Wolford will be jumping out there in a minute. The way you're getting fired up about your beloved Raiders. There's Wesser out of acting half. Last tackle. Remarkable turnaround in the last 15 minutes or so. Here's another kick. Can Merritt come up with something special again? He's taken it, but Brett Kelly's done very well. That's terrific work from Kelly, considering what happened last time. He did very well.
And you wonder what the thought process was for Kelly once he knew that kick was coming his way. I think he was glad that it ended up in the hands of Nathan Merritt, and he could play the man. And he also had every right to play Merritt when he was in the air, being the attacking player, but waited until he hit the ground.
And 3 tries in 11 minutes have got the Bunnies back into the game, and it started with Merritt's one-on-one steal of that man Kelly from a similar kick from Sutton. 10 short of the halfway line. How important is it for Canberra to score the next points? Because if South get in front, there's the second half possession. I just can't see that Canberra will be able to regroup. There's no one there for Tongue to pass to, and he falls awkwardly. The crowd thought it was a high tackle. It was just an awkward fall in the tackle. He didn't like it though, Alan Tongue, and Campese kicking into the corner, and will find touch. The Raiders claiming it was off a South Sydney leg. If it was, I don't think it was played at.
Well, here's Alan Tongue getting tackled. They thought it was high, just wrapped across his shoulder there, that tackle from low.
Well, we've seen 2 remarkable bits of play in the northwestern corner here at Canberra Stadium. Josh Dugan in the first half, and Dave Taylor diving from 5 metres out as if he's some winger of years gone by. Taranaro will play. Pettybourne ends at Tongue, makes the tackle, and the leg Sterling. Actress is still out there for Canberra as well. There's Burgess.
And the role reversal we've seen in this game, where the Raiders, the first half, were so dominant. Now the Rabbitohs coming from this end. You'd almost think they might be running downhill, the Rabbits.
Well, I asked you that question before, and you denied that there was any.
Well, that was about which end is the best to kick to.
Well, if there's an end to kick to because of a slope, surely it helps running that way as well. This kick will go over the dead ball line for a 20-metre restart, and the Raiders will be very pleased with that.
We never worried about which end was best to kick to, because Ricky Stewart would put it wherever he wanted, off the boot, 60 on the fly. They would have had to have 30 10s, I reckon, when Ricky was playing, to bring him back to the field.
Vito. This will test the character of Canberra. They've got the wobbly boot on big time at the moment. They're 12 short of halfway. Here's Kelly.
They've had a lot of energy sapped out of them by the roll forward of the Sharks attack.
There's some solid defence on Miller. So 2 tackles left in this set. Here's Tills. Solid shot coming in by Burgess. Terrific tackle. Now Buttress kicking over the head of Talanoa. Touching goal, 20-metre restart.
Yeah, that end always rolls a bit quick, that corner.
It's been an entertaining ANZAC Day battle between these two. This champion is now tackled, and there's 15 minutes remaining. Sando, dummy. Not fallen for by Buttress. And also Leroy Lars. Luke. Spun away from Campese, who came again when Miller slowed him down. Leroy Lars there as well. He's still going. Isaac Luke. Somehow the ball has come out with Luke, the champion. And they're down towards the 30-metre line here, Sats. Sutton. Harrison puts him under pressure. Burgess numbers here for South. Taylor for the corner again. He tried to push away from Thompson. Still going. Flicks the ball back over his head and knocked on by Alan Tongue. He's not happy with the call. I think it came from the touch judge. And South will get another set.
We're not almost saw another miracle try in this corner. Burgess off to his second-row partner Taylor. Spins out of one tackle. Tippy toes. Flicks it back in field, and that was ruled to have gone forward from Alan Tongue. He's having a good time out there, Dave Taylor, and enjoying the fact that the game has opened up a little bit for him on the left edge. 6 tackles for the Bunnies in great attacking position.
Can Canberra hold here? They are under pressure. Sutton to Campese, Wesser, straight through. They're in front, South Sydney. They trail by 24 points to 6 at half-time, and they are in front. The red and green spirit is well and truly alive. They lead by 2 with a kick to come, and it's Reece Wesser.
He's excited, the fans here, Reece Wesser. Good line run here out wide to get to Campese by John Sutton. Wesser hitting back into the hole. Has to shrug off one defender there. Croker it was, Tongue trying to cover. He couldn't stop him. Reece, he's had a very good second half. And rewarded with a try. The Bunnies were gone. And look at him in the box, he's celebrating. Even Gordon Tallis thinks he's part of it.
And notice he looked for the camera there at the end.
Oh, he did. He knows where they are.
Straight away. I think this Canberra crowd is stunned at the moment. We've seen it. 2 home games in a row. They were playing with so much confidence in the first half, and maybe, as you suggested, Gary Belcher, a little bit too much confidence in the first 10 minutes of the second half. When South were there to be beaten, they just tried it a little bit too much. And then in the 49th minute, Nathan Merritt, a one-on-one steal from a kick taken by Brett Kelly, started the turnaround here for Souths. Chris Sando has already kicked 2 from 2. This to extend the lead. And can Canberra stop the flow? He's missed it. That's an important miss too from Sando. It's only 2 the difference. And this was a little bit too easy.
It was too easy. Good work from Sutton and Wesser, but the Raiders, well, I said it before, they were, I don't know if it was overconfidence or they were flippant or what it was. Their play in the first section of this second half was ordinary, and they have backpedaled ever since.
Well, they would like some football down this end of the field, wouldn't they? They just haven't been down here.
in the second half. Burgess getting out of their own end quite easily. Here's South. Sutton, Taylor, been a handful in the second half. And finally get him to ground about 9 short of the halfway line. Oh, Trevor Thurling was in there. Could easily have been penalised. Some reason seemed to get his head stuck in the play the ball. Last tackle. Here's the kick from low. And it lands in the in-goal area and goes touch in goal. It was almost a terrific kick. Now Dugan trying to get the ball back to the 20-metre line ASAP, but they have to wait until their own players get back on side. This is where they need the home crowd to lift them.
Yep, they don't need to score, they need to get up the other end of the field. That's what they need to do. Get out of their territory, and a good kick chase. That would be their first priority.
Vito. They're down by 2. 24-6 at halftime they led. Now 26-24, the offload. Here they go again, the Canberra Raiders with some second phase play. The danger man Dugan is tackled. Tongue at acting hard. Here's Campese. Now Leroy Lars has lost it.
Stay intense. Give me a second.
Trying to isolate him with Chris Sando, who's answered the challenge so far today, with Tom Leroy Lars running at him. Full credit to the young South Sydney halfback.
Yeah, he'll get off the line and get in the face of anyone, despite their size. Chris Sando.
A few minutes today, Eddie Pettyborn, hasn't he, back from a broken jaw? Geddes
and Stewart have been solid, haven't they, for the Rabbits this half?
His best. The Raiders chant is up. They need their side to lift defensively here. Champion one-on-one with Croker, who makes the tackle. 35 out from the line. Will they all put their hands up for the play the ball? The referee says play on. Burgess. Last tackle. Champion at acting half. Sutton with another one of those torpedo bombs. Dugan's got the goalpost to worry about. What a terrific take. We've seen some remarkable tries he scored in great defence. But gee, that was a tough take with the goalpost there as well.
It was a great take. And once again, they get the restart on the 20-metre line. They didn't go too far upfield by 4th tackle last time when they made a mistake. They need an improvement on that.
The champion was never on side there for South, and the Raiders fans acknowledged that, but they did pick up 12 or 13 metres, so maybe the referee said he'd gone 10 when he made the tackle. Dugan at acting half. Now here's Harrison. The offload. Comes back here to Vito. He then offloads back to Harrison. He throws the dummy, but South don't fall for it. That's the last tackle here for the Canberra Raiders. Campese puts it high. Wesser is there, Dugan as well. They let Canberra play at it. It's off the hands of Canberra, still the last tackle. Croker with the second kick. Wesser in the corner. 10 out from his own line. Canberra need to force an error here defensively. Merritt tackled by Croker. Geddes and Miller come together at Canberra Stadium, and Geddes goes again.
They're trying to jam up on him here. I think they're going to shift it wide pretty soon, the Bunnies, because they're going nowhere in the middle of the park.
Burgess. And there is the collision between the two big men. Last tackle, and they've gone about 20 metres. Sloppy play the ball. Sando gets the kick away. It's over the head of Dugan. It's a terrific kick from Chris Sando. A chance for a 40-20 if it was an even more awkward bounce, but Dugan remained calm and then just gave the ball to Kelly, which was an awkward pass because Kelly was going nowhere.
They need to score points, the Raiders, but they certainly don't need to have any more against them. Not from error at the back.
Tilts. So time is starting to become the enemy too for Canberra. 6.5, less than 6.5 minutes remaining. Josh Miller's come from the field for Shillington to go back on. Their ninth interchange. Chip over the top here for Croker. Sando's knocked the ball on. And it is a knock on. Isaac Luke did very well to get back behind the point where it was last touched by Sando.
It's knocked the ball on.
Here's the chip over the top. Sando in the air trying to get the football.
Don't be getting up me, John, all right?
It was wrong. It wrong-footed both of them. I think that was the issue. That's why Sando couldn't take it. I think he thought he might have.
Well, they're questioning whether or not he was tackled in the air.
Yeah, well, but he'd made the mistake as well, hadn't he? He didn't have the football.
You could also argue that Croker was making a play for the footy as well. It's one of those ones that can go either way as well, and so far we've seen today with these 50-50 calls, the team that's gained the advantage from it has ended up scoring.
No fullback at home for the Rabbitohs. I don't know if it's been spotted at all by the Raiders, but Rhys West has been up in the line for a couple of tackles now.
Well, they've been after some possession. He's lost the ball, Leroy Lars. He's lost the ball, and I was about to say they've been after possession down this end of the field all half. Canberra, they've finally got it. What will they do with it? They've dropped it.
Stay down. Keep your head in, stay down. Good, stay in.
He just tried to play the ball before he was ready to.
You're never going to get a penalty for that, Tommy.
Stay down.
Got to take responsibility for that one.
Head in, John. In you go. Short cut in. Listen, make it simple.
Yeah, I know.
Wait like call out. Tom, staying like call out. Tom, on, in you go. Out.
Here's Pettybourne. Another hit up for him this afternoon.
Alan, hold, go.
Low.
Surrender.
Inside the final 5 minutes, Sam Burgess coming from the field for Souths for Dave Taylor to go back on. 5 short of the halfway line. Luke out of acting half. Buttress does well. He was very quick out of that marker position. Geddes. Last tackle now for South Sydney. Kick important here from Sutton. He looks to put it down into the corner. Vito cuts it off. Canberra have got to go 100 metres. There's 4.5 to go. They may get another set 2 after this. They've got to go a long way now, Gary. They have to throw a little bit of caution to the wind, don't they?
Oh, yep, absolutely. Now's the time to chance your arm. I don't know exactly where they're going to find it. Maybe one of those offloads out the back that we just saw from Leroy Lars.
Here's Thompson. He throws it out the back, picked up by Tongue.
Play the ball.
Lucky to get their Tongue ahead of South. They get in a very short blindside. And Thompson's tackle. Croker's calling for it on the far side. Furling, not sure that he was the man that should have been at first receiver. It's now the last tackle.
Hold, Isaac, hold. Okay, you're good.
3.5 to go. Campese, high kick. Here's Wesser and Dugan. And Rhys Wesser has taken it magnificently.
That's fantastic. Rhys Wesser up against one of the youngsters. Oh, here they go down the right, the Rabbitohs. Dugan really struggling to get up from that. Oh, beautiful position there from Wesser. Knew he had to get off the ground. That far out from his try line too, you see often fullbacks decide to let it go, let the other team have a play at it, but he committed himself. Well done.
That could be the match-sealing play there for South from Rhys Wesser. Here's Geddes. Tackle made by Shillington. So 3 minutes left. 1, maybe 2 sets for Canberra, depending on what happens here. Vito under pressure. Taylor is there to make the tackle. So they're guaranteed this set. They're going to go 98. They may get one more. Unlikely. Dugan trying to make something out of absolutely nothing. Croker. He can't get up Dugan in back play. He is absolutely spent. Now they've got numbers here, Canberra. Down this short side, Thurling couldn't get it to Vito, who was unmarked. He comes back into your picture there, Vito. He had no one in front of him. They come this way again. Vito was spent. Campese thought it was played out. The referee said no. Thompson taken by Talanoa. Last tackle. Here's Campese kicking. Kicks the ball just away to Merritt. They will get one more set though, you'd think, Canberra, if they don't concede a penalty here. Tongue tried the one-on-one steal. That didn't work.
They're trying everything. They needed that footy to hit the ground, and unfortunately Nathan Merritt had positioned himself perfectly under the post. Oh, this guy is absolutely shattered. He's had a go at everything today. Josh Dugan, he looks like he's going to be on the losing team after scoring one of the most incredible tries we've seen. But what a comeback from the Rabbitohs. They were gone at 50 minutes, I thought they were gone. They finally got over the line, and from then...
Well, it ain't over yet because Canberra do have one set left. They'll have to go almost 100. Sutton will try and find touch. He does. What a magnificent kick. Canberra have got to get on their bike to get down there to stop the clock, and they are struggling to get there. There's the Burrow. Great kick, John Sutton. There's less than a minute remaining, and they get back now to form the scrum, and they do. Time off.
Stay down, boys.
51 seconds. They must stay there. 49 seconds. They must stay bound. What will they do here, Gary? Is there a chance? Has anyone got the speed at this stage of the game? Great kick. Wasn't a 40-20. For the kick and chase. There's no one back there for Souths. Thurling. And there's the mistake. He's lost the football. Trevor Thurling has lost the football.
Time out.
And hasn't moved.
0 calls. You can have a look at that, mate, if you get a chance.
Over the top, I think Scott Geddes. Bill Curley is looking at it. Was there anything in it? Trevor Thurling would argue there was.
Yeah, he copped a high one. Is this right swinging arm coming in? Oh, absolutely got him.
He'll have to be placed on report. And if so,
I need the player, mate.
There will be a penalty to Canberra.
Scott Geddes,
who will find touch. There'll be a free interchange for Canberra, of course, at 2.
I see some Raiders fans leaving the ground, but I'd like to think there might be a reason for them to turn back around.
In the tackle, all right, whether it's actually or not, he has made contact with the head. Okay, he'll put it on report. But it is a penalty, mate. Okay,
been placed on report. It's a free interchange they can use. But Scotty Logan has the number 10 card, but it should be a free interchange.
Let's get rid of that, boys.
And he goes on, but they've given him the number 10. I don't think it matters with only seconds to go.
Probably not.
But they will find touch a long way down, but it'll chew up some time to get... Well, it's one of his worst kicks ever. Terry Campese.
I think there was his uncle Trevor might have kicked that one. It didn't go real good.
Shillington. How many tackles will they have? There's about 20 seconds remaining.
What's that ball?
Campese. Now Croker towards the touchline. Play on, says the referee. They may have, 2 tackles left. Can they steal it here, Canberra? Campese. Now Harrison. Where's Dugan? Get him involved. He may win it for you. Harrison back towards the middle of the play. It comes to Logan. Shillington. There's the siren in the background. It goes to Thompson. He throws it to Matt Cecchin. He doesn't want it. Alan Tongue is there, but Champion gets there first. And Bo Champion dives on it. And that is full time. And South Sydney has defeated Canberra in a remarkable comeback in a terrific game of rugby league on ANZAC Day. Full time at Canberra Stadium. The Burrow celebrates. The Rabbits have won. It is South Sydney 26, defeating the Canberra Raiders 24.
Didn't they show some tick of the Bunnies? They weren't in the game in the first half. 24 points to 6 down, and they were on the back pedal in the first stages of the second half before Nathan Merritt stole a try for them. Didn't look like scoring really until that point. 3 quick tries, 4 and a 4th to Reece Wesser. But they still had a lot of work to do from the 66-minute mark to hold on defensively, and They're very excited about what they've done here, the Bunnies. They know that they've stolen 2 points from the Raiders there, and what a great effort.
Well, they were down by 24 points to 6 at half-time, and they've scored a remarkable win here, South Sydney, as we head downstairs to Simon Wolfen.
Well, Dave Taylor, what a performance.
Yeah, mate, the team, they dug in, and yeah, it's a good win.
They got away to an 18-point lead at half-time. John Lang looked pretty animated during that first half on the sideline. What was his message?
Mate, he just said we had to work, and mate, that's what we did. We couldn't fall off tackles or give away penalties or drop the ball, so we worked as hard as we could to minimise their errors, and mate, lucky to come away with the win.
And to cap it off nicely, you try in the corner, you look like Superman, you dive from about 5 metres out.
Yeah, mate, I was just hoping I'd get there, and I did, so happy days.
Well done today, Dave.
Thanks, mate.
And Simon Wolford's still downstairs.
Well, Josh, obviously disappointing. 2 weeks, 2 home games in a row now where you've given up handy leads.
Yeah, no, it's very disappointing, especially knowing we go out with a good lead at half-time and then to come out and, let them get it front foot and get it rolling, it hurts.
Possession's so crucial. You had it all in the first half, and against the big South Sydney pack, you were able to put on points, but I guess that was reversed in the second half. It all went South Sydney's way.
Yeah, well, you can't really score points without the ball, and in the first half we had all the ball and we were scoring the points. Second half, our completion wasn't there, and we gave them too much ball in our half, and, they capitalised on that.
I know you're disappointed from a team's perspective, but your own form's been pretty good today. You played the ball playing role and a nice try as well.
Yeah, last week I thought I had probably one of my worst games in the top grade, and this week I just tried to work on that and get a bit more involved, and it worked.
And you're down on your haunches there late in that second half, just a matter of being tired, mate?
Yeah, a bit of that. Got winded as well, that's football.
All right, mate, bad luck today. All the best next week.
Thanks, Simon.
It has been a terrific ANZAC Day clash here. The Bunnies victorious, 26 points to 24. We will take a break and come back and wrap up NRL Sunday for Week 7.